You've seen the clips. You've read the tweets. Championship merchant. Overhyped gym rat. 100 million for this guy. Somehow, Viktor Gyökeres has become one of the most confusing strikers in world football. Not because he's terrible, but because no one can quite figure out if he's actually good. To some fans, he's the second coming of Haaland, a physical monster who bulldozes defenders and scores screamers. To others, he's just another strong, fast, blunt instrument with the technical grace of a shopping trolley. So who's right? Let's get this straight. Gyökeres isn't a fraud. He's not a joke, but he might also not be what people want him to be. After dominating the championship with Coventry, he moved to Sporting CP with a massive price tag, massive expectations, and a lot of doubters. And the takes? They were instant. Some highlight the goals, others highlight the heavy touches, missed chances, and chaotic energy. The discourse got louder, the labels got harsher, and suddenly, Gyökeres is bad became a mainstream opinion. But what if that take is wrong? Not because he's secretly world-class, but because people are measuring him with the wrong lens? In this video, we break it all down. The criticism, the actual numbers, his playing style, and the context no one wants to admit matters. Because to understand Viktor Gyökeres, you don't need more hot takes. You need honesty. So let's answer the question, how bad is Viktor Gyökeres really? Let's start with the truth. Viktor Gyökeres never stood a chance. Not because he isn't talented, not because he didn't earn his way up, but because of where he came from and how fast he climbed. Football fans love an underdog until that underdog starts asking for 100 million in transfer fees. And when that underdog's name is hard to spell, plays in Portugal, and doesn't rack up viral nutmegs on TikTok, the internet turns fast. When Gyökeres moved to Sporting CP in 2023, he wasn't just walking into a new league, he was walking into a spotlight. A 20+ million fee in Liga Portugal makes you the guy instantly, and when the rumors of a 100 million release clause surfaced, let's just say the expectations went nuclear. But here's the catch. Gyökeres didn't come from Real Madrid or Ajax or PSG's academy. He came from Coventry City. No disrespect, but in football internet terms, that's not elite. To some fans, that's Championship FC. And no matter what he does, he's still wearing that tag. It also doesn't help that he's not silky. He doesn't glide like Osimhen. He doesn't link play like Kane. What he does is bulldoze. He runs through people. He outmuscles centre-backs. He takes low percentage shots and sometimes scores screamers. Other times, he skies them into row Z. So when clips of him missing easy chances or scuffing dribbles hit social media, it was open season. No context, no nuance. Just 10 seconds of chaos and a caption. 100M for this? Combine that with a football community obsessed with aesthetics, and suddenly, you've got a striker who's doing everything right for his team, but still getting flamed in the comments for not looking like Benzema while doing it. The hate isn't about Gyökeres being bad. It's about him being different, unorthodox, not fitting the mold, and having the audacity to show up with that price tag anyway. It's the same formula we've seen before. Unfamiliar player plus, physical style plus, high fee plus, one bad clip, overrated, fraud, next. But here's the thing, just because a striker doesn't fit into your idea of technically beautiful, doesn't mean he can't be brutally effective. The hate comes easy. But the truth? That takes a little more work. Viktor Gyökeres doesn't play like a modern striker. He plays like a problem. If you're looking for elegance, stop watching. If you're looking for control, look elsewhere. But if you want violence, urgency, and raw chaos in human form, then congratulations, Gyökeres might be your favorite striker, you just don't know it yet. At first glance, nothing about him looks elite. The first touch, sometimes heavy. The decision-making, questionable. The finishing, erratic. But then you actually watch the 90 minutes, and you start to realize this guy isn't clumsy. He's relentless. Gyökeres is a power runner. He doesn't drift, he charges. Every touch feels like a challenge to the defense. Either stop me or get run over trying. He presses like a man possessed. He doesn't just close space, he hunts it down. Opposing centre-backs don't get time, they get anxiety. And when he gets the ball, he turns and drives. No hesitation, no endless flicks. He moves direct, vertical, violent. He's not interested in playing pretty, he's interested in creating panic. What separates Gyökeres isn't technique, it's physicality. He's one of the best in Europe at carrying the ball into the final third. Check the data, his progressive carries are elite. Not just for Sporting, for any striker. And while his finishing can be hit or miss, he creates chances through brute force, often dragging defenders with him or drawing fouls in dangerous areas. he's also shockingly selfless. Gyökeres isn't just there to score, he sets up teammates, holds off defenders, draws attention to open space for wingers and midfielders to exploit. In fact, at Sporting, he's been as important in chance creation as he has been in scoring. That's not normal for a striker with his profile, and that's what makes him different. But again, that difference is exactly why people misunderstand him. He's not a highlight reel guy. He's a watch the full 90 guy. His goals aren't always beautiful, but his impact, undeniable. You can't put Gyökeres in the same stylistic box as Haaland, Kane, or Osimhen, because Gyökeres isn't polished. He's jagged, raw, unrefined. But that's what makes him dangerous, and why trying to judge him by pretty striker standards is like asking a sledgehammer to paint. Stat merchants love to say, numbers never lie, but when it comes to Viktor Gyökeres, they might not be lying, but they're definitely leaving things out. On paper, his stats at Sporting CP look impressive. 27 goals and 11 assists in his first season. In all competitions, that's elite output, especially for a player in his first year in a new league. That's not bad striker territory. That's get your wallet out territory. He averages 0.9 goal contributions per 90. That's better than most strikers outside Europe's absolute elite tier. It puts him in conversation with guys like Vlahovic, Isak, even Lautaro Martinez. And then there's the XG. His expected goals numbers suggest he's not just lucky. He's putting himself in high-value positions constantly. He racks up chances by sheer volume, and when you're constantly in the box, constantly pulling defenders out of shape, even if you miss one or two, you're still doing your job. But here's where the numbers get tricky. If you just skim the goal tally, you'd think he's clinical, but watch the games, and you'll see he misses a lot of chances too. Chances where you'd expect a top-level striker to bury it 10 times out of 10. He's not a surgical finisher. He's a volume guy. He eats with frequency, not precision. It's the Mitrovic model, or even early career Darwin Núñez. They'll frustrate you with the misses, but give them enough chances, and they'll break the net. And assists? They're not all elegant flicks and through balls. Sometimes it's a deflected pass that falls to a teammate. Sometimes it's him holding up play, getting fouled, then watching someone else hit the free kick. Is that bad? No, but it means the raw stats make him look more refined than he really is. And this is the trap. People either overrate the numbers or underrate the work behind them. Because Viktor Gyökeres isn't built for spreadsheets. He's built for systems. For teams that let him run, fight, and drag defenders into the abyss. So yes, the numbers tell us he's producing, but they don't tell you how. They don't tell you the chaos it takes. The scruffy hold-up play, the relentless pressing, the sprint, the slip, the recovery, the assist. The numbers say he's good. The eye test says he's messy. But the truth? He's both. And somehow, that works. Everyone loves a hot take, but no one ever wants to talk about context, because context isn't sexy. It doesn't fit in a tweet. It doesn't go viral. But when it comes to Viktor Gyökeres, context changes everything. Let's rewind. A few years ago, Gyökeres was a bench warmer at Brighton. Then he gets loaned to Coventry, a solid, scrappy championship side. No world-class teammates. No elite service. Just Gyökeres, running at tired defenders, dragging Coventry into playoff contention. He wasn't just good, he was transformational. In 2 seasons, he scored 38 goals, assisted 14 more, and carried Coventry to the brink of promotion. That's not normal. That's impact. But what does that have to do with Sporting? Everything. Because Gyökeres wasn't groomed in a top-tier academy. He didn't come up through La Masia or Clairefontaine. He learned football the hard way. Lower leagues, ugly games, heavy pitches, and all of that shaped how he plays. Direct, physical, relentless. So when he arrived in Portugal, people expected finesse. But what they got was fight. Sporting didn't sign a Haaland clone. They signed a system breaker. Someone who would press like a maniac, bully Liga Portugal defenses, and give them an edge no one else had. And it worked. Ruben Amorim's system at Sporting is built around pressing, verticality, and transitional speed. Gyökeres is tailor-made for it. He's not dropping deep like Harry Kane. He's not ghosting into space like Benzema. He's dragging centre-backs out of position, creating chaos, and cleaning up the pieces. And when you put him next to Pedro Gonçalves or Trincao, players who thrive off the second ball, you realize why Gyökeres looks so effective at Sporting. This isn't about stats. It's about fit. Drop him into a slow, possession-heavy side, and he might look lost. Stick him in a team that plays with intensity and width. He eats. That's what no one talks about. When fans say he couldn't cut it in the Premier League, What they really mean is, he doesn't fit our idea of what a top striker looks like. But football isn't about ideas, it's about roles. And right now, Viktor Gyökeres is playing his role perfectly, even if it's not the one you were expecting. So here we are, all the takes, all the clips, all the noise, and one big question still hanging in the air. Is Viktor Gyökeres actually good? Well, good enough that Arsenal just dropped 60 million plus to bring him to the Premier League. Good enough that Sporting didn't even try to replace him. Good enough that his own fan base, one of the most critical in Portugal, begged him to stay. And yet, somehow, the doubt lingers, because Gyökeres doesn't feel like an Arsenal striker. He's not clean like Odegaard, not smooth like Jesus. He doesn't move like an Arteta player, until you realize he's exactly what Arsenal don't have: a true number 9. A relentless runner, a striker who won't care about passing angles or possession percentages, someone who will bully centre-backs, make chaotic runs, and actually shoot when he has space. And sometimes, that's all Arsenal need. Look, is Gyökeres world-class? Not yet, but he's Premier League good, and that means something. He's not clinical like Kane, not electric like Darwin, but he's consistent, he's healthy, and he works constantly. He presses like a madman. He creates chances through sheer force. And his off-ball movement? Way better than people give him credit for. If you're judging him based on highlight reels, you'll miss it. Because Gyökeres doesn't give you one magic moment. He gives you 90 hard minutes. It's the little things, the flick-on that starts a break, the awkward dribble that somehow results in a corner, the way he occupies 2 defenders just by being annoying to deal with. That's not flashy, that's functional. And functional wins games. Will he score 30 goals in his first season at Arsenal? Probably not. Will he have a few frustrating games? Absolutely. But in a league that's physical, chaotic, and brutally fast-paced, Gyökeres might fit better than anyone expects. Because here's the truth, he's not bad. He's just not polished. And in a system that's built to let him run, press, and wreak havoc, he's a nightmare. So, how bad is Viktor Gyökeres really? He's not. He's just not built for clips. He's built for football. So the next time someone drops a lazy "Gyökeres is trash" take, ask them if they've watched 90 minutes. Or just 9 seconds on Twitter. He's not flawless. He's not flashy. But he's effective. And that, my friends, is dangerous. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button like Gyökeres smashing into defenders. Subscribe for more football myths exposed, reputations unpacked, and agendas respectfully cooked. And drop a comment. Will Gyökeres flop at Arsenal or prove everyone wrong again?